Right, thank you everyone for joining us. This is the Finance Committee meeting of Hemsworth Town Council. Can you can't hear me? Try again. Can you hear me at the back? Sorry for that. Can you hear me now? Yes. So let me know if it gets echoing, so I know it gets annoying. So thank you all for joining us. This is the Finance Committee of Hemsworth Town Council at 7 p.m. on Thursday the 12th of January. Just before we start, please... What? What am I doing now? Please stop interrupting. I'm just going to say this now. It's not going to be popular. As far as meetings go, these meetings are for councillors. And if people start interrupting, and that includes the public, I'm afraid, unless it's public question time, I will either ask that person to leave or I will close the meeting. If I didn't, I'd be a hypocrite after the events that happened before Christmas. So please bear with me and understand why I have to do what I have to do. Let's let this meeting run. We've got half an hour. We've got an event tonight. Let's get it done. Yeah? Thank you, everyone. So item 1 on the agenda. Item 1 on the agenda, apologies for absence.
Councillors Eccles, Wilson and Pringle, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Declarations of interest. Minutes. To approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 10th of November. Subcommittees. Finance Subcommittee on the 10th of November. Payments of accounts. Thank you. Item 6, printing for councillors. So this is an item that I put on the agenda. It has become apparent over a few months back now. We put a signing in, signing out sheet for stationery. It has become apparent that councillors are taking printing supplies, 2 or 3 a month. We only have, I think it's 8 meetings every 2 months.
4 every 6 weeks.
4 every 6 weeks, nowhere near. So 4 every 6 weeks, there's no reason for that amount of printing. Yeah. I propose that councillors, if they want anything printed, they come into the office and the office staff print that for them. Can anyone second me on that, please?
I will second you on that.
All in favour? Not in favour?
Just a minute.
Not including when you need it, like you, Pete.
I'm going to say.
Yeah. It's someone taking ink out of the community centre to use in their own printers. Not in favour? We're just abstaining then, yeah?
I put my hand up.
No, I'm just saying to trust. Asbestos survey, this is just for Alan to report on where we are with that one.
Sorry, 7.
It's because I circled it before I got to it. Citizens Advice, 2023-24. So this is in regards to the rise in the fees that they're going to charge
They
us.
charge 3,500 normally. They've proposed an increase of 10% to 3,850, Madam Chair. I have included that in the draft budget, but it's up to members if you want to keep that service on.
I'm going to take into consideration here that, yes, we have got people using it, and also the fact that transport services in the area aren't getting better as quick as we'd like them to, and it's used by people of all generations as well. I propose we keep it and accept the raise.
Definitely.
Second it. Yeah. All in favour? Now we'll do the asbestos survey. Item 8. Alan?
Just to make members...
Just to make members aware, Madam Chair, the Council's Health and Safety Consultant recommended that an asbestos survey be done on all council properties, so in the next couple of months I'll be arranging that.
Did everyone hear that okay?
No.
I think it's because your voice was quite deep. It's really hard to hear on the microphone. So the Council's Health and Safety Consultant has recommended that we do asbestos surveys on all council properties. And Alan recommends that we go forward with that. I'll propose it.
Don't check me.
All in favour? Okay, next one is item 9, budget for 23-24. I can do it if you want.
Is my voice that deep? I don't know. Is it Barry White or something? I don't know.
Are you holding it too close, baby?
Is that better?
No, that's worse.
Better without the mic.
I think it's probably better without the mic for Alan.
Madam Chair, I did circulate a draft budget based on a 3% increase on the preset, Madam Chair. As I mentioned to yourself previously, Madam Chair, the purpose of the agenda item tonight It's just to get a general steer from the committee as to whether you think that's in the right direction, whether you think 3% is acceptable, should it be 2, should it be 1, should it be 0, should it be a cut. I just need a general steer from members tonight so I can go away again and, if need be, rejig the budget. In between time over the next few weeks, I'm happy to meet with members individually or as a group to thrash out any details so that at the council meeting on the 2nd of February, the council can then approve the budget. So I need a steer, Madam Chair, from the committee, what do you find acceptable? The one thing I would remind members of, the big cost increase from the current year for all future years was that increase in pay for all staff, apart from managers, which was in the region of £40,000. Obviously that's an ongoing cost. So I would recommend a small increase, so say 2%, but I need a steer tonight from the committee as to whether you think that's acceptable. And if it's not acceptable, then what would you do?
So I've had a look at the budget. There's loads of questions to ask about it. Alan's answered some of them. Me and Maxine are going to meet with Alan in the coming weeks to discuss that. Personally, I wouldn't want to put the precepts up. Realistically, I think with the situation that we're in, unfortunately, we're going to have to do that. Now, 3.5% for even the highest tax band in this area works out an extra £4 per household. So a year. So we're not talking crazy money. It's £4 a month.
A year?
A year. Sorry, I do apologise. It has been a really long day.
£4 a month for you.
£4 for yeah. I'll pay £4 a month. Everyone else can do £4 a year.
That's good.
So yeah, £4 a year. Other options we'd have to take into consideration. Alan and I have sort of thrashed this out a bit. We could be looking at charging more for other things. We could be looking at car park charges.
Car parking back, yeah.
To
We need to
me,
bring car parking back anyway.
for people outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, I think as much as I don't want to do it, I don't want to hand over a unrealistic budget to the next council that starts in May. So I suggest 3.5%.
I think it sounds sensible.
I think it sounds sensible, that, doesn't it?
It's not what we want to know, but it's
I really don't want to
This
know.
is
But
it. Yeah.
Well, when you look at it anyway,
We've got no
we've got no reserves left after
We have
this
got
year,
reserves
so we
left,
might as
yeah.
well. We're going to have to do something
Yeah, definitely.
to just
because-
get ourselves back on even keel.
We have got reserves left. We've got 460.
No, we haven't. After the £108,000 you want.
Will she be quiet?
right, come on.
We've got £467,000 in reserves, and we've got £290,000 in current account to keep us going to 31st of March. I would suggest that we'll have about 200,000 left on 31st of March. So the increase that Alan's suggesting of 41,000 can come out to what we've got left from next year.
But it's a recurring
From
cost.
last year.
No,
So
it's
yeah, we'll
not.
use that this year. Just 1 minute, Maxine. So we'll use that this year, and then what about next year and the year after? We can't keep dipping every year back in, because all you're going to do is put yourself £40,000 in deficit every year. Maxine.
Right, he's saying this, right, I'm not being funny, but until March we've still got bills to pay, we've still got wages to pay. This £290,000 that keeps spouting off of that, it's got to pay our bills or we don't get pay wages,
No.
right? So what we've got £237,000 in reserves, what we need to save in that reserves. That is what is supposed to stay in them reserves. And then we've got £230,000 in another reserve, in another bank. That £230,000, we've got £54,000 to pay on the paths, what they want doing, and then we've got £14,000 what we have to pay on the freezer they want doing, and then there's £108,000 to find from somewhere, and there's £108,000 to find from somewhere to pay for this eating at the water park. Now you tell me what he wants us to do, because
Right.
I haven't got a clue anymore.
Thank you, Maxine. That's a really good point. So I propose we increase it by 3.5%. Does anyone want to second me?
It's only steering this.
This is only a steering, we're going to talk, we've got...
We still have to vote on it though, don't we? So what steer we're giving you?
No, we're not
But
voting
I'm
to
just
put
putting
it up.
facts out. I'm putting the facts out.
Just Alan, let's
The,
vote.
the vote tonight is just to give me a steer.
Yeah.
So we're voting to give you... We still have to vote though,
You're
don't
not
we?
voting on
Right.
the budget.
But he's telling
You're voting-
everybody we've got it all in reserves and we haven't.
No, so what we're saying is, I'm proposing that we have to increase because we haven't got any money.
Exactly.
Right. So does anyone want to second me, please?
Yeah, I'll say.
I just want, can I just make a point? Inflation at the moment is 10%.
And it might go up even more than CPI rates now in 2 days.
Inflation can come down.
Yeah.
And to propose a 3.5%, which is £3.88 per household, I think is very reasonable.
Thank you.
Very, thank you.
Okay,
So
so,
I will second.
right, I've got a second. All in favour?
Unrealistic.
What's that?
No,
What is it
what-
been out?
Against?
What is that for?
We just voted, we're giving a steer on the 3.5%.
I'm against putting it. We've got plenty.
Well, I'm against, Chair, because it's like...
Right, so just put your hand up and say you're against.
Yeah, I'm against it.
Right, because we've done a discussion, now we're voting, we're moving on. So that one's done. We've got all those. Next one, public question time. I am going to have to keep to the 15 minutes on this today, just because we've got the event later on today. So if you can swift with your questions, if we can't answer them, we'll take them away. Kathy?
You've just actually approved the spending for the November accounts. I've actually raised something with Mr. Draper regarding a payment to your security, fire and security for an additional body cam and docking station. And he does actually state one, just one, for the water park. I've not asked who that additional body cam is for, but I asked for the make and model number. Because when I've gone and looked for one additional body cam and docking station, it doesn't come, there isn't anything that comes in at the value of £3,889.34.
So are you still waiting, is that your question? Are you still waiting on the answer
So
on that one?
what I'm actually saying to you that have signed the accounts off,
No, so just to be clear, what we've just signed off is the accounts that needed paying.
yeah,
So anything,
well, that's been paid.
no, so this is anything that has come,
This body cam came as a quote to the council.
no, we're just going to, just to confirm what we've just signed off now, was that there, yeah? You've just given me.
The November accounts, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, that body cam weren't on there.
Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
it was, yeah.
On,
Yes.
on that what you just showed me, it
No,
wasn't
no, that's found stuff before this meeting.
Okay,
That was January.
so we were signing off in accounts. Okay, sorry,
And this
Kathy.
body cam came to council a few months ago now.
Can everyone hear Ellen?
And the quote was approved.
And this is what I'm saying
Quote
to
was
you.
approved, there was no
What I'm
quote.
saying to you
There was
You
no
can't
quote.
find,
is, and I've looked on the police, where the police get the body cam, and one body cam and one docking station, it doesn't include
come
the
that much.
monitor, comes in at £715.
so just to confirm, Kathy, have you got the answer back that you've asked
No,
for? Right,
Mr. Draper.
so that's your question now?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Draper would not give me the make and model so that I can
Right.
check. But what I'm saying to you, has any of you checked that you're happy at paying £3,889.34 for one body cam and one docking station? Because to me,
Just
that
one at a
is
time,
very,
please.
very expensive.
Right, Alan, do you want to reply, please?
Yeah, it's just to repeat, it came to council a few months ago now. There's one, we now have two body cams. One is for one officer herself, and the staff, I'm not going to break any confidences here, but I think it's a fair point. The staff in the summer in the park get quite a bit of abuse, told to F this and go that and that kind of thing. And the difference in people's attitude when there's a body cam there is stark. Quite literally, 1 minute they'll be effing and blinding, they see the body cam, but they're all sweetness and light. So the staff asked the council if the council would be willing to purchase a second body cam and docking station and all the paraphernalia needed to go with it, and that would be a floating body cam. So if in the summer there's some trouble in the park, one of them can get the floating, not literally floating obviously, floating body cam, pop it on and go out and sort out whatever trouble was there. The quote came to the council a few months ago, I forget exactly when, but it was approved, it was in one of our reports.
No quote.
Kathy did ask about the a few details about the make and model. I'm happy to be over by the council, but the body cam is a security item. I'm not an IT person, but I would assume that once the make and model's out there, someone would know the software. If they know the software, they could potentially do things with it. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
I've checked with
Let me finish, Kathy.
Sorry.
But that was my rationale.
Right.
I'm happy to be corrected on that because I'm not an IT expert. But
Unfortunately, your maths
but
are
I think it's
With science.
so his maths are
No,
down.
can we just, one at a
Two
time,
body cams
please?
is only 1,500.
Exactly.
Can we get the meetings? We can't answer this now because apparently it came to council when we approved it. Yeah, can we just confirm that? If we approved it, we approved it.
There were no costing.
Well, that's what we'll confirm.
It was just that we were
I imagine it were recorded
We were
anyway,
going
so.
to,
body count.
Yeah.
Right,
And then
okay,
it just appeared.
we'll get them answers.
I have been questioning Donna.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it.
By the way, are they admissible at court, these body cams and cars?
So they're like a phone.
Can we have one question at a time? So, sorry.
Just that shirt.
I am, but I'm just asking the gentleman right behind you, not to interrupt you.
Don't interrupt me.
Right, what's your question, sorry?
Are these body cams admissible in court?
Yes.
Thank you.
Are they
Sorry,
legit?
But I will let you know that if there's no court procedures within 30 days, they have to be removed. They have to be deleted, but they never are.
Great.
Right, next question. Sorry, gentleman with the glasses on his head?
Yeah.
This lady first.
Sorry.
I can't see hands properly. It's,
When you've got them body cams on, do you tell people that you're recording?
They're supposed to.
Yeah, there's
It's
a
law.
label thing they put on saying.
Do you
They're
actually
done.
tell them?
Yeah.
They're done.
The person must tell them that he's recording. Down there every day because there was trouble with people drinking. Once you take it away, then you'll alleviate a lot of problems.
I think I'm okay to say that we have got the licensing agreement going on an agenda.
It's on February.
Yeah, but that will cover people drinking in the wider park.
But that will not, yeah, like I said, that will not stop people bringing beer down. We can't.
That'd be the same anywhere, wouldn't it? I think we're moving way off finance here and getting into sort of more social subjects, which is not the remit.
Can I just say, my question wasn't about.
I know,
you're going there. Mine
It was
was
about
about
the cost.
cost.
We'll get those back to you. Any more questions?
Can I have another one?
You're allowed to.
Thank you. On transparency, on the finances, I understand that all the monthly expenditure reports are now on the website. Great, that's fantastic. But we've only got half of the equation. We need to see the income, monthly income reports as well to get. Reports are now on the website. Great, that's fantastic. But we've only got half of the equation. We need to see the income, monthly income reports as well to get the full picture. They're not published on the website. So I have to put in an FOI request. I did that months ago and I still haven't got the income. Jean keeps telling us, well, if you want the information, just ask Alan and he'll give it you. I think, and
We talked about this in the last meeting. I don't think you've seen it because the Zoom was a bit dodgy, wasn't it? But what did we believe in that meeting around the
Well, clearly, people need to go to council to, as a matter of course, no councils publish income. People will have them separately. But if this council wants to do that, that's fine.
So it's not in our standing orders to
No,
do that.
It's not,
So-
it's not an obligation either. But if the council wants to, it's a matter of policy, then it can be.
So we need to get on an agenda. So if any council wants that to happen, we need to put it on an agenda and get it voted on in full council. Full council.
can we also put in the quarterly reports that
Again,
by law?
again, it's not in our standing orders to do that, so it'll need a vote.
Can you put that as a vote?
So I'm not the only council here, if anyone wants to put that forward.
Because it's important because the information that we get, say on the public expenditure reports, some of the figures are incorrect. I can't find them back to the quarterly reports, the figures that you say.
Okay.
So I can't see whether we're talking across purposes or not.
It can be put on an agenda. Thank you. We're 15 minutes up. Right, thank you everyone for joining us. So we just have a brief interlude now where we're going to exclusions, and then as soon as we're done, we'll let you back in for the policy and planning.
Can I just mention there's the gathering up at the